You're drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck. And the school system you trusted lied to you. It was never meant to make you rich. It was built to keep you working, struggling, and broke. Want the raw truth about money? Listen to two men who broke free. Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki. Imagine being told your whole life that the path to success is simple. Go to school, get good grades, land a safe job, and save money. Now imagine discovering it's all a trap, a system designed not to lift you up, but to keep you down. That's the unfiltered truth Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki want you to hear. These two men, from wildly different worlds, share one brutal belief. The traditional education system is broken, and if you don't wake up and learn how money really works, you'll be enslaved by it forever. Let's start with Robert Kiyosaki. Born in 1947 in Hawaii, Kiyosaki grew up in a modest family, the son of a teacher, his poor dad. His father was educated, hardworking, and believed in the system. Go to school, get a degree, find a stable job. But Kiyosaki saw something else. His best friend's father, his rich dad, was a businessman who never finished high school, yet owned properties, built businesses, and lived a life of financial freedom. This contrast shaped Kiyosaki's life. His poor dad worked hard but stayed broke. His rich dad worked smart and got rich. That realization became the core of his best-selling book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which has sold over 32 million copies worldwide. Kiyosaki's big lesson? The rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. In his book, he writes, "The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them." He learned this from his rich dad, who taught him to buy assets, things like real estate or businesses that put money in your pocket, not liabilities like cars or houses that drain your wallet. Kiyosaki's philosophy is raw and confrontational. Schools don't teach you this because they're funded by banks and corporations who profit when you stay ignorant. He says the main reason people struggle financially is because they have spent years in school but learned nothing about money. Now let's talk about Donald Trump. Born in 1946 in Queens, New York, Trump grew up in a wealthy family, the son of Fred Trump, a successful real estate developer. Unlike Kiyosaki, Trump didn't have a poor dad to compare with. He had a mentor who showed him the ropes of wealth building from a young age. Fred Trump taught his son to think big, take risks, and use debt strategically to grow wealth. Trump took this lesson to heart, building a real estate empire that turned him into a billionaire. His book, The Art of the Deal, became a business classic, selling millions and showing the world how he negotiated his way to the top. Trump's philosophy is bold and unapologetic. Wealth isn't about saving pennies, it's about leveraging opportunities. He once said, "Be a smarter, better informed investor." Like Kiyosaki, he believes the school system fails to teach real-world skills. Schools churn out workers, not winners. Trump's proof? His own life. From turning rundown properties into luxury skyscrapers to navigating bankruptcies and coming out stronger, he's lived the game of money. He doesn't just play to survive, he plays to win. So how did these two men from opposite corners of the world come together? They met through the Learning Annex, a platform for business education. Trump was impressed by Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which sold over 30 million copies. And Kiyosaki admired Trump's The Art of the Deal. They saw in each other a shared mission, to wake people up to the truth about money. In 2006, they co-authored Why We Want You to Be Rich. Two men, one message, a book that hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Their message was clear. The middle class is shrinking, pensions are collapsing, and the only way to survive is to learn financial literacy. Their book isn't a gentle guide, it's a wake-up call. They write, "You cannot solve money problems with money. You can only solve money problems with financial education." They attack the idea of living below your means, a mantra pushed by traditional financial advisors. Kiyosaki says, "Most financial experts say to live below your means. Mr. Trump and I definitely don't live below our means. We work hard to expand our means." This is their core belief. Don't shrink your life to fit your paycheck. Grow your income to match your dreams. Let's look at a real-life example from Kiyosaki's life. In the 1980s, he and his wife Kim were broke, sleeping in their car with no money and no plan. But Kiyosaki didn't give up. Inspired by his rich dad's lessons and Trump's The Art of the Deal, he started investing in real estate and building businesses. By 1994, he was financially free, retiring at 47. He didn't do it by saving or getting a better job. He did it by buying assets that generated passive income. Today, he owns oil wells, apartment buildings, and even Bitcoin, proving his mantra: rich people acquire assets. The poor and middle class acquire liabilities that they think are assets. Trump's story is just as bold. In the 1990s, he faced a financial crisis with debts of nearly $900 million. Most people would have crumbled, but Trump turned it around. He negotiated with banks, sold assets strategically, and rebuilt his empire. By 2006, when he and Kiyosaki launched their book at Trump Tower, he was back on top, a symbol of resilience. His lesson? When you have financial challenges, rich or poor, we all have problems, Kiyosaki said, reflecting on Trump's comeback. The difference is mindset. Trump never saw failure as final. Their philosophies converge on one point. Debt isn't the enemy if you use it wisely. Kiyosaki, for example, proudly says he's $1.2 billion in debt, but it's good debt that buys assets like apartment buildings that pay for themselves. Trump agrees, saying, "Donald and I love real estate. I think it's the best thing going. Better than sliced bread." They both see real estate as a path to wealth, not because it's easy, but because it's a game of leverage, using other people's money, OPM, and other people's time, OPT, to build your empire. But their message isn't just about real estate, it's about mindset. Schools teach you to avoid risks, but Trump and Kiyosaki say risk is where wealth lives. Kiyosaki writes, "Winners are not afraid of losing, but losers are. Failure is part of the process of success." Trump echoes this, saying not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur, but those who succeed think differently. They both reject the idea that a job equals security. Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant explains this. Employees in the self-employed trade time for money, while business owners and investors make money work for them. Their critics call them controversial. Some say Kiyosaki's seminars push people to take on risky debt, and others call Trump's real estate ventures reckless. But their fans, millions of them, say their teachings change their lives. Take Jeff Rose, a Forbes contributor, who said Rich Dad, Poor Dad revolutionized how he thought about money. Or look at the 2,100 plus cash flow clubs worldwide, where people play Kiyosaki's board game to learn financial strategies. Trump and Kiyosaki don't care about the critics, they care about results. In recent years, their voices have grown louder. In a 2024 interview, Kiyosaki warned of a financial collapse worse than 2008, blaming policies like the Keystone Pipeline shutdown for spiking inflation. He said, "When Biden cut the Keystone Pipeline, oil went from $30 to $130. Everything runs on oil." Trump, meanwhile, has pushed for tariffs to bring back manufacturing jobs, a move Kiyosaki supports. They both see a world where artificial intelligence and economic shifts are wiping out traditional jobs, making financial education more critical than ever. Their partnership isn't just about books or seminars, it's a movement. They've created videos like one from 2009 where they discuss the power of debt and respect in business. They've inspired millions to rethink money from Mumbai to Miami. Kiyosaki, speaking in India in 2023, said, "When I came to Mumbai, I went to see the slums. That's where America's heading. Homelessness is gripping America, and schools aren't fixing it." Trump, in his own way, keeps pushing the same message. Think big, take risks, and don't trust the system to save you. If you don't educate yourself about money, you will always work for someone who did. Trump and Kiyosaki didn't wait for permission. They studied the game of wealth, took bold risks, and built empires. The school system won't teach you this. It's on you to learn, act, and break free.